I should be freaking out. I'm 4 books behind my goal on Goodreads. Welcome back to Overbooked. I'm Amanda, and today we're gonna be doing the mid-year freakout tag. I did this tag last year, so this is my second time doing it. I think somebody out there created this tag, and I think I might have mentioned it in my other video. So if I find that person, I will tag them below or mention them below. There are 13 questions, and I will write them all below, and let's just kind of dive in. I just want to say, like, 2020 has just been garbage all around, so I think we just should all just be freaking out in general. Number 1. Best book you've read so far in 2020. Okay, so I can't pick one. I'm just like sitting here scrolling on my Goodreads. I would say that Patsy by Nicole Dennis-Ben was hands down brilliant. I really loved that book. And then Know My Name by Chanel Miller. It's gonna be top 5 this year for sure. And I would say, okay, so there's gonna be 4. Ask Again Yes by Mary Beth Keane was just so good. And then Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. So those were my favorite books of 2020 so far. Man, when December comes around and I have to like narrow it down, it's gonna be really hard. Best sequel you've read so far in 2020. I don't really read series much. I don't really pick up a series of books, so I don't know if I've really read any sequels. Let's see. Nope. I did read a prequel. I read The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, and that's the prequel to The Hunger Games. I did not super enjoy that book, but, other people have loved it. So if you haven't read it, you should check it out and you love The Hunger Games. Otherwise, if you read it and you were like, yeah, this isn't for me, you should check out my rant review. It was fun. Okay, number 3, new release you haven't read yet but want to. So this has been all over BookTube and Bookstagram and Book Twitter a little bit, is The Vanishing Half by Brett Bennett. And it follows 2 Black sisters, and one can pass for white and one cannot. And it shows them growing up and then separating, and how their lives just kind of go on without each other and with each other. And I loved Brett Bennett's The Mothers book, and I just thought it was such a really a story that just packed a punch. It was like a really short book, and it was just, her writing was just so great and insightful, and I am just really looking forward to this next book of hers. And everybody that I really love on Bookstagram has been raving about it, and I trust them, and I'm really excited about this book. And then there's another book that I've been really interested in, and it's actually, shocker, YA. I know, I never read YA, but there is a book that's called Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I'm pretty bad at pronouncing names. But this is a story about 2 girls who have the same dad but don't know it, and then when their father dies in a plane crash, their lives intersect. And I just think that's such an interesting storyline and predicament, and I just think it would just be really interesting to read, and really just a captivating story. So yeah, I might be reading a YA book by choice, by want, by I think this is gonna be really great, and I might really enjoy it, and I'm really looking forward to it. Let's go. Next question. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Oh, I don't know. Aren't these kind of the same question? I think I said this in my freakout tag last year, is I am not a person who keeps up with new releases. I don't pay attention to what's gonna be coming out this year. If somebody is throwing it in my face on Bookstagram and stuff, there's a book that I love and it's new, I'll be like, oh, interesting. I don't really keep up with what's coming out later. I have no idea. I couldn't even tell you. There's so many books that have already been published that I haven't read yet, that are what I want to read, and I just can't keep up. I'm drowning. Okay, number 5, biggest surprise. Let's see. I thought I could do this without my laptop and without my Goodreads pulled up, but that's a joke. Man, I don't know. Because I feel like when I read a book, I know, like, I want to read the book and I know it's going to be good. So I'm not really, like, surprised when it's good. I'm more like, oh, this wasn't as good as I thought it was. Okay. I'm going to say this one. Another YA shout out is Pet by Kweke Emezi. And I'm not saying it was a big surprise for me that this was a great book because not that I doubted Kweke Emezi's potential or work or anything. I just, like I've said before, I'm not a huge YA fan. I read this for the Blacklit Challenge, and the Artisan Geek had this prompt where she picked a book for you, and this was the book that she picked. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know if I'm gonna really enjoy it, but we're gonna try. And I actually ended up really, really loving this book. It's about a girl who is in this town, and there was monsters, but then they were taken out and they come back, and she and her friend have to fight these monsters. And one of them comes out, I don't want to spoil, I don't know. I don't ever know what's like gonna be spoiling something for you guys, so don't listen to that. I just thought this was a really, really powerful story because the main character is transgender. She used to be a boy. And I just loved how easy it was, and it just came off so well because it just wasn't like the main point of the story, and it was just lovely. I just thought it was great, and I loved how like her parents were just so supportive, her friends were supportive. It was just kind of like lovely, and it was just, I'm just really glad there's people like Kweke Emezi writing these books for kids today because I'm just so happy that people have these great books to look to and read and hear these stories. So this was a really just pleasant book to read, and it wasn't a surprise because I didn't think it was gonna be good. It was just a surprise because I'm not a huge fan of YA, and I didn't think that it was gonna be this enjoyable for me. Yeah, so if you guys haven't read Pet by Kweke Emezi, I highly suggest it. It's really, really good. Oh, frick. I switched them around. So biggest surprise was supposed to be next. I was supposed to say biggest disappointment first, and I've got a few. I don't know if you guys ever watched if you haven't, whatever, my January wrap up, but there were some duds. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of duds. Who knows if I'm even gonna put the picture here because that seems like a lot of work to do for a lot of books I just was disappointed by. Conviction by Denise Mina. Huge disappointment. I thought it was gonna be really cool. I thought it was supposed to be a really cool crime thriller book, and it was just this like girl who was listening to a podcast chasing after some guy, and I don't know. It was not that great. The Secrets We Kept by Laura Prescott. It was supposed to be this cool like Cold War spy historical novel with, you know, a woman being a spy, and it just wasn't great. I was really disappointed. Let's keep going. The Scent Keeper by Erica Brausmeister. Honestly, going into this book, I didn't really think it was gonna be that great. I read it for like the Reese Witherspoon book club, and I got it on hold from the library right before quarantine and stuff. So it was like one of the only books I had, and I was like, I guess we're reading this, and it was not good. And then The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I was kind of hoping that would be really fun to read, and it just wasn't. Again, if you loved it, that's great. I just wasn't for me. Fave new author. I don't know, because I don't really read like exclusively by author. Like I kind of just pick what book I think sounds great. I guess like it could go along with the same like the best books I've read in 2020. So like, you know, Patsy, which I guess I already loved Nicole Dennis Benn, so I guess she doesn't count. Chanel Miller, I thought I'm blown away by her. I wonder if she's gonna keep writing. Kylie Reed was really great in Such a Fun Age. And yeah, Mary Beth Keane and Ask Again Yes. I thought those were all really, really great authors that I had not heard of before. Okay, number 8, newest fictional crush. I don't really have fictional crushes. Maybe when I was a kid I did, like when I was reading in middle school. Because let's face it, I was not getting any boys. But I don't know. None. I have none. Newest favorite character. I've read like 31 books, and like I know there are booktubers that have read more than me. How do you guys pick a favorite character. There's so many people. I don't know, man. You know what? It's not a character, it's a person. I read Sally Ride's biography, and I think she's a fucking badass bitch. And she went to the moon. No, she didn't go to the moon. She went to space. She kicked ass, and she had to be like the only woman in her field doing this shit, and they had to put her on the spot. And she just wanted to teach girls about science, and she just was great. I loved her. I loved learning about her. Number 10, a book that made you cry. Oh, guys, I don't know. They all made me cry. I would say The Leavers by Lisa Coe made me cry. Blood in the Water by Heather Ann Thompson made me cry. This is a nonfiction book about the Attica prison uprising in 1971. It's horrible. Like, it's the horrible event. It was an amazing book. Know My Name made me cry a lot. Patsy, she made me cry. Those are the books that made me cry. More to come. Book that made you happy. The Kiss Quotient by Helen Wong made me happy. And something else. That was such a fun book. I was just cheesing the entire time. Wow, I didn't read that many happy books. Read a lot of depressing ones. There were parts in Such a Fun Age that made me happy. I know that, so in Such a Fun Age, it's about a black woman who is a nanny for a white woman, and when she takes the child that she watches to a grocery store late at night because the lady whose child it is just, I don't know, something happens and she needs somebody to watch her child. So the main character takes her to the grocery store, and she's accused of kidnapping, and there's a video that's taped, and then like she has to kind of deal with the consequences, and so does like the lady, the white lady. And it just kind of just deals with a lot of like microaggressions, like how we interact with each other and we don't really realize what we're saying or what we're saying is offensive. And I just really, really loved it. And there was a lot of little things that I like saw that I was like, okay, this is too real for me. But there were some like fun parts, I thought, where like she was with her friends and she had a great group of like solid friends, and they just had a really good time together, and I felt like they supported each other even when like they were kind of annoyed with each other. And I just like, I really love seeing female friendships depicted that way in books, and I just really liked that. And so I felt really happy when I was reading the parts of the book where she was just hanging out with her friends. Most beautiful book you've bought or received. So I don't really buy books much, and received. So from like the library. Oof. I don't know. The Water Dancer by Ta-Nehisi Coates. I thought that cover was just really, really pretty, and I would just stop reading the book and look at the cover. I don't know what it is with water. I just really love water. I love how water looks. Does that make sense? I also think the book Miracle Creek by Angie Kim is a really pretty cover, and The Mountains Sing is a really, really pretty color. I hope I'm putting the books right here. And then the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? All of them. I need to read all of the books. I don't know. I think that if you've watched my channel or you have seen any of my videos, I really don't plan out my reading for like the year. Like I kind of plan it by month, and sometimes that doesn't even happen. So I don't really know what I really need to read by the end of the year. I think what I mentioned in my last video last year was every year I try to do the Reading Women Challenge. And I didn't finish it last year. So I would really like to finish it this year. And so I have some prompts that I still need to get to. So probably that's like my only goal is to try to finish that. And if you guys haven't heard of the Reading Women Challenge, I think it's really cool. It's just a challenge that the Reading Women, which is kind of, it's like a podcast. It's two women, and they just advocate for people to read books by women for women. And they put together a challenge list every year of books that you should read to make sure you're reading outside of your comfort level, make sure you're reading like more diverse books of different stories. Just, it's really great. There's a lot of times where I've only picked up a book because of that challenge. So I'll link that below too if you guys want to check it out. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of any other books that I have to read by the end of the year. So that was the mid-year freakout tag. I hope you enjoyed. I did. That was fun. And, you know, again, Black Lives Matter. Still today, tomorrow, forever. I'm gonna keep linking stuff below for organizations that I'm donating to. But I think I said in my last video, I highly suggested you guys check out stuff that's going on in your local neighborhood or around you and support organizations that are doing stuff for your community. So the one that I recently discovered was the Free Black Library. So it's this woman in Detroit, and she has like a cargo bike, and she gets book donations from another local bookstore, and she only has books that are like about Black women or the Black femme story or by Black women, and it just is a great way to amplify women's voices, Black women's voices, and you know, and giving people a free resource to do so. And it's really, really cool. And I was just like, I love bikes, I love books, I love libraries. Where can I write the check? So I'm gonna put her link below. She's trying to raise money for a cargo trike. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it would help her tote more books. Let's help this chick, you know, let's get her what she needs. Let's lift Black women up. Let's get their stories out there. Check it out. There's also, I'm gonna link the Detroit one below, but I guess there's other ones. I think when I was Googling, I saw like Boston, Philadelphia, like there's other amazing Black women doing this as well, probably in your own community. So, you know, if you don't want to support my lady, check out the ladies who are doing stuff in your community, and let's do it. Let's raise each other up. That is it for today. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Hopefully I finish a book today.